So, guys, let's continue with the next part. We have a lot of plans for today, and multiple things I'm going to discuss about the Red Hat core, basic things, some interesting tips and tricks, and again some basics core thing about Python and how to again further integrate Python with the Red Hat Linux, right? Maybe if we have got a proper time today, so we will also start how to start building some projects, right? So finally our motto for this training, in some days or some weeks, we want our projects also ready, that is very required for solving industry use cases. What kind of project are going to build, we will gonna discuss in some days, right? So let's start with one of the feature of the Linux basics, that is called multi-user. So let me start with why Linux is known as multi-user operating system, right? What is it mean by multi-user? For example, this is my operating system, and you guys know from the first day we are logging in the system with a user called root. So either you say the account name or the username is the one of the same thing. Okay, and root is the administrator of our Linux. But if you want to create some more new users or the new account in your operating system, then we have one command called user add. So user add is a command that we can use to create a new user in our operating system, right? So this is my OS, and I'll use the terminal or the command terminal, technically known as genome terminal or GNOME terminal, to create the user. So for this, you to open the terminal, okay, and if you want to create a new user, then we have a command called user add. For example, let's say I would like to create the user with a name called Jack. So that's all, guys. Very straightforward. One click, new account has been created. But if you want to log in with the account, you have to give the password. And we have a command called passwd. It's not password, guys. Command is passwd, and give the username. It is not a password. So what I'm this command is asking, give me the username to whom you want to change the password. Okay, now it is asking for password. I type some password and hit enter. Again you have to retype. Okay, and finally give the same password, and password updated successfully. So very straightforward, very basic command to create the to log in with this user. I'm putting, guys, everything whatever I'm doing in this classroom, either all the diagrams or all the commands or the code, in the Google Docs. And Google Docs link, guys, we already shared to you in your IIC channel, right? So this account has been created, but if you want to confirm this account is created or not, so we have one command called ID. You can use this command to verify that that account has been created or not, right? If you use ID check, okay, so it will show you that Jack has some ID. So what is the meaning of ID? There's one detailed topic of user add. We will discuss there the use of the ID. But if they show you something, it means account has been created. But for example, if I try to use ID pop, it say pop user is not exist. So you can use the ID command to verify the account has been created or not. Now the important thing is, guys, here is right now I have login in this system with the account called root. How can you verify? There's a lot of way. One way would be you can check here in a command prompt you are logged with a root account. Other way would be we have one command called who am I. There's no space, so it show you that you have login with a root account. That is the other way. Or you can use, but the point is, guys, here is right now I have logged in with root account, and if you want to log in with the other account, because you want to do something else, you want to see the data of that particular user, so you have to first log out from this GUI. This is the one thing you do. So first log out from this root account. Okay, and this is a normal process that you do in other OS also, like Windows. If you want to log in from the other account, first you have to log out, or maybe sometimes switch, and this you can see the name come up here that you created and give the password, and this is a new account you log in. Okay, so point is, guys, here is the biggest point is here is, if you want to log in from one user or one account to other account, you have to first log out from that account, then you have to log in. Okay, but maybe there might possibility I would like to log in with a multiple account and do multiple things. For example, from the root account I want to do some kind of advanced stuff, security stuff. From the Jack account, that is my personal account, I want to play some songs, or I want to see some data. All the things, all the activity I would like to do in parallel, right? But if you want to confirm here, again open the terminal. Either you go and click here, or in the search you can type the terminal. Okay, it's the same thing, it will open the terminal for you. But if you want to confirm here, you can see and check that you have login with the Jack account. Okay, one moment. And because there's a new account they created, they ask you welcome screen and all the things, so you can set your language, all the stuffs here. Okay, now point is, guys, here what this is not my main thing to discuss to you. The main thing that I would like to discuss over here is that if you want to log in with a multiple account, okay, and want to want to work in parallel, then here the use of multi-user come in play. So what is multi-user? Multi-user is the operating system where you can log in to the multiple user in a single go without login and log out to other users. How? For this they have one shortcuts. But before I explain this shortcut, the screen that you're seeing right now, this screen where you use your mouse, you open your terminal, these screens are typically known as terminals. So this complete is terminal. Sometimes this screen is known as console. So whatever I want to do in any operating system, for example, this is the console of my Windows, or this is the screen of a Windows. So you can use the word console also, right? So if you want to do any activity from CLI or from the GUI, you want a console. Okay, so or sometimes it is also known as terminal. Okay, so normally in Windows they always provide you, or they typically provide you one console. Guys, I'm not talking about workspace. The workspace is a different thing, because in one console we have multiple workspaces, right? I'm not talking about workspaces. I'm talking about the complete screen, right? I'm talking about, right? So 1 minute. So what I'm talking about, but in the Red Hat Linux or Linux, we have multiple consoles, right? Or you can go to other console, second console, third console. In this console, log in with the root account. In this console, log in with Jack account. In this console, again log in with the root account, right? And for switching the console or switching the terminal, right? We have one shortcut here. For example, I'm just running one shortcut. Just let me show you what is the shortcut. This is the other shortcut. Okay, now here they again asking which account you want to log in. Okay, so now here I can log in with the other account called root. It's a different screen, but technically from first account I haven't logged out, right? That account Jack is working right now. The all the process working right now. I haven't logged out, but I switch to different terminal or the different console, and here I log in with some other account. Okay, now again I want to go to Jack, again switch, use some shortcut here, and I again move back to the same screen or same console where I have login with the Jack account, because this is a graphical little bit slow actually, depend upon RAM and all the things. So again I switch to Jack account. It will come in a minute. It is you can see the black screen, but it will come, right? So what is the shortcut I am using over here is, okay, the shortcut to switching the console or switching between the console, or you can use the one more word instead of console, you can use one word called terminal. Okay, on the real world, technically we have a, actually, you know what, sometime if you talk about long ago, we have a lot of different monitors they connected, and we had only one CPU. Okay, and one CPU on one OS, lot of different physical monitor they connected, and these monitor, everybody different teams sit and work over there. So typically those are known as terminals or the dumb terminal. But all those different monitor feature, if we give in the single monitor or single screen, then this type of terminals where work like a different terminal, but is but in that these terminal is coming in the one single screen. Okay, and you can use some shortcut to switch. So this type of terminal is known as virtual terminals. So either you say console, terminal, or the VT. Virtual terminal is the same thing, right? So typically we normally use a VT word, that's called virtual terminal, right? And you want to switch, we have a shortcut called control key that you have in the keyboard, plus alt key, plus your function key F1. It's not F1, it's a function key F1. If you press all these three guys together, then it will help you and switch to the first terminal. Okay, and this control is your left control key I'm talking about. Okay, and if you press F1, it switch to first terminal. If you press F2, it switches to second terminal, F3, and by default, the total terminal that we Red Hat 8 provide you by default is 6. So we have technically 6 virtual terminal, right? So I use that shortcut, right? So this is the terminal 2, and if I go to Alt Control F1, it is a terminal 1. It is loading in a minute. Again asking the root account, or I log in with that account. Again I press Alt Control F2. This is terminal where I log in with Jack account. If I press Alt Control F3, function key 3, it give me a different terminal, right, where I actually that time I log in with the root account. They show you here that here I log in with account called root account. Okay, so here I log in with the root account. Okay, and if you press Alt Control F4, here you have again one more terminal, but this terminal, guys, you don't see any GUI, but you can see the login prompt. They're prompting you can log in with some account. Okay, but this kind of here, guys, this type of terminal is called CLI terminal. Okay, where you can log in, do all of the stuff, but you don't have any GUI. So whatever you want to do, you have the command line. So here you can run only those commands that work on the command line. But for example, if you try to run Firefox, or because the Firefox require GUI, it will fail with the error code. We don't have any graphical display here. Okay, so technically, if you talk about the Red Hat version 8, where we are working on, so in Red Hat version 8, we have by default 6 virtual terminal. Okay, so guys, whenever I say by default in this training, right, it means always means we already have 6, but we can increase and decrease. That's the meaning of by default whenever I say this word. Okay, 6 terminal, and where this in the 6 terminal, 2 terminal they give for GUI login, graphical login, and 4 terminal they give for CLI login by default. But you can change, increase and decrease. This is the total terminal they provide. And typically in F1, function key 1 and function key 2, they give you the GUI terminal, and function key 3 to 6, they provide the CLI terminal. Okay, for example, if I go to Alt Control F5, again they have the new terminal. Here you can log in with a different account, whatever account you have with you, and you can work here. But right now I'm into my terminal 4. But if I go to Alt Control F3, is a different terminal of GUI. F2 is a different terminal of GUI. F5, here I'm logging with a different terminal. F4 is logging with root terminal. Okay, so like this, if I go for F7, nothing is working. If I go to F6, it is working. So total we have 6 terminal, to GUI by default, and 4 is your CLI. Okay, only difference is in the GUI you can use your mouse. In the GUI you can open your Genome terminal to run the command. The GUI work for everything, but only challenge is GUI is little bit heavy, right? You require more RAM and CPU. CLI is very lightweight, but only limitation is none of the GUI program work there, and by default mouse is also not work there, right? So if I try to log in over here, all right, and if you see my mouse, if I try to use my mouse or highlight something, copy something, it is not working. My mouse is not working. So guys, this is the first question to you, everybody. This is one challenging question. In the Red Hat CLI, this is the Red Hat CLI or CLI terminal. Okay, so guys, whenever I say Red Hat CLI, it never mean this one. Okay, so this is look like CLI, but is this CLI will launch from the graphical, or because we launch in the graphical or GUI, so mouse is working. We can go right highlight, right click, copy, all the things we can do. Okay, so any terminal or command terminal open from graphical, or your mouse work. Okay, and this terminal is known as is open from the command Genome terminal. But any command terminal open in the CLI, this is called Red Hat or Linux CLI. Okay, your mouse doesn't work. So point is, guys, here the question to everybody is, does your you can does let me write over here is this question to in this your um, page. Okay, can you enable mouse interaction in your Linux uh, CLI terminal, this black one? Can you do? If yes, how can you enable your mouse interaction in Linux CLI? This is one great question I would like to ask. I'm asking to you. Just try it, and if you got the answer, put it. Otherwise, I will definitely give to you. Okay. Same here. I'm asking over here. So can we enable mouse interaction in Linux CLI terminal? This black one I'm talking about. And what I mean by this is a black CLI. If your mouse start working, you can highlight something, copy something, paste something, something like this. Right now, if you have your Reddit 8 with you, you can if you go to old kind of F3 F4, and after login you won't able to use your mouse. Okay, but if you want, just go and find. This is my first question to you. Okay, now second thing guys here is, if you want to by default uh, we have 6 terminal. 2 is GUI and 4 is CLI. Okay, but if you go to Red Hat version 7, where we have only one terminal for GUI and 5 terminal for CLI. In 6 also, Red 6 we have different right combinations. Okay, but right now we are working on Red 8. But now my question guys is here is, a lot of guys think who work in Linux, they think normally Linux or Reddit provide one or two GUI and lots of CLI. Okay, but we can't have more than one or two GUI. A lot of guys think in this, but it's not like this guys. We can create as much as GUI we want. Okay, again I'm repeating. Okay, right now I have only two GUI. One is here that I log in with the Jack account. Okay, one is here that I log in with the root account. So this is all kind of F2 or all kind of F3. Okay, but if I go to all F4, here I log in with some other account, maybe root account, maybe some other account. Okay, so log I think maximum we have one or two GUI terminal where I can use for multi-user, for logging to multiple user in the same go simultaneously to do different activities. But we can't have more than one or two graphical GUI terminals or the console. But technically we can get more than two also, one also, right? So how can we get, because guys idea is very simple. When you talk about the GUI, again GUI is what is GUI is also one kind of program, right? There it means there's some kind of program running behind the scene to launch the GUI, and if you know the program name, you can create more GUI. Okay, and what is the program name? For example, right now this is CLI. And because we are in the CLI, or we can think in this way. If you want to run any program, you have to first log in, right? So I'm into CLI, I'm logging with some kind of program or some user. Okay, now here I can run any program, but this is CLI, and if you want to convert your CLI into the GUI, so we have a command called startx. We have other way also, but startx is very common program that I use. So what startx do for you, whatever CLI that you have, black terminal that you have, it convert that black terminal into your GUI. So technically what I'm talking about, if you click here, you see here your some program run, and internally they are loading they're running some process, and in a minute depend on your RAM speed, in a minute they launch a GUI also. So technically we had two GUI, now we have one more GUI. So as much as GUI if you want, we can launch it. So if you have a thought in your mind that we can't launch more than one or two GUI, it is not like that. We can launch. We guess they are loading. They're a little slow because of the RAM, but they are loading. In a minute, 1 or 2 minutes, you can see one screen will come up. Okay, so as much as GUI you want, you can launch. But for this, you have to run a command, startx, and for running the command, you require command prompt. And that command prompt I use as a CLI command prompt, or black screen command prompt. So I first go to black screen command prompt, all F3, F4. Okay, and then from there, I run this command, at launch a GUI for me. Maybe sometime we won't require so much GUI, but sometime in some kind of use case we might require it, so we can get it. Okay, this is one thing. And one more thing, guys, I would like to tell you here is, okay, I told you already, whenever you do anything in the GUI, in the behind the scenes, some kind of commands they are running. Same whenever you do any signal, right, or any kind of shortcuts, again a lot of shortcuts they are running some command behind the scene. For example, when I say alt control F5, I landed here. When I say alt control F6, I landed in different terminal, right? So behind the behind this alt control F1, alt control F2, they are running one command, right? So without using this shortcut, you can use that command to switch between the terminals or switch between the screens or virtual terminals. And the command is pretty simple: chvt. A command also represent I'm changing changing virtual terminals, right? So what can you do right now? You are over here. Even though there is one command to check in which terminal you are in. So if you want to check what is your terminal name, 5 or 6, so we have a command called tty. So right now I am into a terminal called tty 6. 6 means I am into a terminal 6, or tty is my terminal name. Okay, so for example, if I go to alt control F5, if I ask which terminal I am in, tty 5. Okay, so you can use tty command to check your terminal names. Okay, but from the terminal 5 to go, if you want to go to 6, either you can use your shortcuts, or we can use one command called chvt. And I ask chvt, please take me to the terminal number 6. So without using without using your shortcut from your keyboard, you can use this command. It will take you to the terminal 6 here. For example, if I say take me to the terminal number 2, so whatever we have in the terminal 2, take me there. So in the terminal 2, I have the GUI that I log in with the Jack account that take me here. Can you take me to the terminal number 5 back again? Okay, it is not working. Okay, why? Because this terminal, for example, if I launch from here also, if I go to this account also, this terminal is actually logged in with a different terminal name. This called sudo. So in sudo, this kind of command doesn't work. So what I mean by this, again, just the 5th day of our training, I don't want to take in the depth, but normally in sudo it is doesn't work. So what is sudo? I'm not explaining, just showing you. So if you open a terminal, 1 minute. Let me show over here only. 1 minute. Okay, so if you see terminal name here, it is a pts. Pts means sudo. So normally in the sudo, this kind of command normally doesn't work, right? Why? I will explain you. Depend upon which kind of versions you have. Okay, but that's not so much important. So either you can use alt control F1, F2 shortcuts, or you can use this kind of command. Take me to 6, it will take you 6. Take me to 5, it take you to 5. You can use this commands also. Okay, so this is one thing. So one more question, guys, I have for you. Okay, how many terminals you have? Because you want multi-user, means multiple you want to log in. So by default we have 6 terminals or virtual terminals, right, where we have 2 GUI or 4 CLI. But for this 4 CLI, I can convert to the GUI with the command called startx if you want. Okay, if you want. But technically, if, when you become a Linux administrator or core, core technical guy, we normally don't work a lot in the GUI, so we don't require GUI a lot. But if you want, I just share the command to you. Okay, but now, guys, I have one more question to you. I said by default we have 6 terminal given by Red Hat, but can you increase or decrease? For example, let's say I want 10 terminal, or let's say I want 100 terminal. Can you get this? Okay, if yes, how can you create 10 or 20 or 100 terminals? Okay, so how can you convert the terminal? For example, somebody asks, guys say, can we create 15 terminal? I say yes, but how can I go to 15 terminal? Because we have F12 key, right, function key. But there we're gonna use chvt command. So we can use chvt command to go to 15 terminal or 14 terminal to switch, right? But can we create a multiple terminal 110? Answer yes. How? That is again your question, guys. So again, I'm asking one question to you. How can how can you create more than 6 virtual terminal in Red Hat version 8? Guys, understand one, I'm talking about Red Hat version 8 because in 7 we have a different way, in Red Hat version 6 we have a different way. How can you create more than 6 virtual terminal in Red Hat version 8? That is my question. And guys, whatever question I am asking, I will definitely give the answer whenever the respective topic come up, right? Don't worry. From my side, I will give the answer of all the questions, right? For example, I had asked you about the RAM. I will definitely give this answer when the respective time come up. But till that time, just keep on trying. Okay. And one question answer I already given you, that is the IP one. Okay, and a lot of guys has a confusion. I suggest please go to my video again, because if we say we can convert the IP into 32-bit, that we know. So my question was that this kind of IP is right or not. Okay, so 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, and if you say yes, this kind of IP is right, because when you convert this IP, it become 32-bit, and any number that is stored in 32-bit is a right IP. It means single octet IP is also right, and we can use this IP to ping and go to website. If you have this kind of answer, then you have the right answer of this particular question, right? So we had hundreds of thousands of reply come up. So I voluntarily is keep on finding all the right answers or nearby answers. So those guys who have the nearby answer also, we definitely provide the goodies to you, right? Even though all the other activities where we announce the goodies, I believe our team also did already delivered those goodies, so you guys might got, or maybe will get those goodies from our side. Okay, so this is one thing. And guys, when I say how can we do, it means you have to always give the answer also. So can we do, answer yes, but how? So you have to always give the answer also, how we can do this, right? So guys, this is one basic topic about the terminals. Again, we can go more in depth dive, but not right now. Where I we gonna explain get TTY, all the things we'll definitely do, but not right now. Okay, so this is one thing I would like to discuss with you guys. Now, next thing that I want to discuss right now would be again one more concept that you should understand or you should know. So question is, or the topic is, for example, right now, if I open the terminal, okay, if I open the terminal, it is a little bit slow because a lot of graphical terminal started and launched. Or otherwise, let me go to my CLI. CLI is always fast. Okay, so this is the terminal. So let me log out from here. Okay, I log out from here, and let me again log in. But before guys I log in, let me show you one small thing. One minute. If you want to log out, there's a command called exit, or you can use logout command also. There's other way also to log out. Okay, so it is log out. Okay, so what I'm asking guys right now, if you see my screen in the bottom line, you can see there's a login prompt and the icon is blinking, and this icon is you know what the icon is asking. This icon is asking for the login. But here without a login, if you're trying to run a command, for example, let's say I would like to run the date command, does it work? It won't work, or your system think that you are not you system think you're not running the command. They think this is the username. Okay, so you know what I'm trying to tell you guys over here is, okay, I'm going to tell you here is, if you want to run any command in your operating system, first you have to log in with some account, and for logging with account you have to give the password. It means you have to first authenticate yourself. After authenticate only, right, your system will provide you this screen. Okay, the system will provide you this screen, and guys, I'm going to explain a very interesting concept actually, so please try to focus. So after you log in, system provide you this screen, and this screen is known as command prompt. And here in the front of command prompt there is a one cursor blinking, and you know what this cursor say, I'm waiting for you, I'm just prompting to you, prompting for you, just give me some command so I can run it for you. Okay, so here I can give some command to check the date or change some password or create some new account or do a lot of interesting stuffs. Okay, which means if you want to run any command, any program, change in any password, right, what you require, you want this command prompt. Okay, this command prompt. And now next thing is, guys, it means if this command prompt is there, and I already told you in the last class, right, if you want to do anything in your operating system, right, without any program or without any process, you can't do anything, right? Without any process you can't do anything. It means if you are running any command here, let me clean my screen. If you want to clear your screen, there's a command called clear. You can use this command to clear the screen. Okay, so if you want to do anything, for example, I would like to run my command, this means somebody is there, right, behind the scene, who will take your command, okay, and then find this command in the system where this command or program located and run for you or execute for you, right? There will be somebody, right? Okay, and that somebody would be some kind of program or the process. Okay, so name of that program who take your command and make and run it, run for you, that kind of program is known as shell. Okay, so technically if you want to run any command in your CLI or in your terminal, right, without shell it is impossible to run the command in the command line. We have other way also to run the command, but in the command line, right, we require a shell. Okay, so guys, technically this command prompt is also known as shell prompt, because the shell is one kind of program running behind the scene, and shell is the one who is asking the command to you. Okay, and cell is the one who will go and find where this command located. So cell is the one behind the scene who run the which command, and after getting the location of this command, cell is the one who go to this location and this location and ask that you are a program, please run it for my user. All this process is been done by your cell behind the scene. This is one thing. Okay, and now second thing is, cell is just a concept name, right? For example, if I ask you which media player you are using, media player is just a concept name, but we know media player means I'm talking about song or the video. But if you ask you which media player you're using, so you say VLC player or window media player, right? Same way, cell is just a concept name. When somebody say I'm using cell, it means we understand in you are using some CLI and where you run some command, and this command take care by cell, and cell is the one who will execute for you. But which cell you are using, again, there are a lot of software available in the market for the cell. One called, for example, C cell, PKSS cell, fish cell. So tons of different cell softwares or the program available in the market. One of the famous one is bash cell, that maximum time we use a lot. Okay, born again shell we use a lot. Okay, so bash is my software name or the program name, and this program is used for the cell. So if you try to ask here which cell you are using, it's pretty simple, right? Cell is the one who take your command. But if I write anything here, so this the prompt thing, this is the command, this command go to cell, and cell try to run it, but cell will fail, and finally what you get. So finally, if you see in the first line, you say I am a bash and I am trying to run this command, I don't know how to run this. So it will prompt you which shell I'm using, right, over here. Okay, so this is one small thing. Now one more great thing, guys, over here is in this program, even though there's a lot of cell already available you can use. Okay, and why we have a lot of cell we again discuss if you want in the future. Okay, but right now, because we also learning Python, right, in this program, because you're also learning Python in the parallel, so I also uh, trained you how to create your own cell. This is again very great topic will discuss, right? I'll show you how to create your own personal cell. Okay, so if you don't want to use bash shell and you want to use your own personal shell, how you can create. So this is a question for you. I'll show you in the upcoming class when we go a little bit more depth in the Python. I'll show you those things to create your own shell. But right now, with the shell that we are using is the bash shell. Okay, this is one thing. Now guys, the main thing that I would like to tell you here is, okay, here is that is very important to understand. It means again, you can think this point as a hacker perspective, right? For example, this is my operating system. Okay, and in this operating system we have some file that contains some confidential data, credit card number, something. Okay, and for reading this file we can use gedit command or cat command. Okay, and for running a command, that is very important, to running a command we require shell. If we don't have the shell, we can't run the command. If we can't run the command, we can't open the file. Okay, because you want to do anything in the OS, even if you want to read the file, you have to run a command or a program. But for running a command or program, we want a shell. But for getting the shell, we have to log in with a password. That's called, you have to authenticate yourself. Okay, so finally guys, why you want to authenticate in your system? Because you want a shell. And why you want a shell? Because from the shell you can change some password, read some file, something like this. Okay, so my point is guys over here is, okay, this is my system. For example, let me log out. Okay, okay, why you want to log into a system, guys? So if you think as a hacker perspective, why hackers, crackers are trying to break my password? For example, if you don't know password, password wrong, again try, we don't know password wrong. So hacker use different ways: brute force attack, dictionary attacks, rainbow tables attacks, lot of stuff, the kinds of attacks they try, right, to break the password. But you know what, why you want to break the password? You should understand, right? You want to break the password because you want a cell. That is the only reason. Okay, you want a cell. That is a reason you want to log in or you want to break the password. Okay, but you know one more thing, most of the time, because we want to break a cell, you want to break the authentication because you want a cell. Okay, but most of the time, 99% of maximum securities are built for the authentication and for the login. Okay, the maximum time security is built for the password time, right? So if somebody try to give the wrong password, so lots of security is there to keep on monitoring who is giving the wrong password, all the kind of activity they are monitoring. Okay, but there is very less security on the cell. Okay, so what I'm trying to tell you guys over here is, if we find a way where we bypass this authentication and directly try to access the cell. So why we are focusing on that particular gate where we have most of the security force standing, right? Skip this code. You should know your requirement, right? What is your requirement? You want requirement is cell, right? So rather than just trying to waste your time breaking the password, actually hit the thing, right, that you actually wanted. And what you wanted, you want a cell, right? To focus on the cell. But as you get the cell, you can run any info commands. So if you run any info command, you can do anything in your operating system, right? So again, this is not hacking a security class, right? And I'm not prompting you or encouraging you to do this kind of brick or thing, but I'm just giving you the awareness. If you want to work as a security guy and you want to prevent something, also on not only focusing more on the password breaks, all the things, right? Focusing in this area also. Okay, a lot of guys has a sell hacks tools available, or they trying to break the cells, right? Because they know the core, right? Hackers are the genius, so they always try to build this. But right now this topic is now hacking or security. My main focus is to explain you the meaning of the cell. The cell is just a kind of program that is used to run your command in your CLI. This is one thing. One more thing I would like to explain you over here is if you want to interact with your operating system, we have three different way. One is GUI, where you can use mouse and interact. One is CLI, where we can use a command line to interact. And we have one more way that we start very famous in the market with called web UI. Or as again, we have one more way is called mobile UI or mobile apps. So these are newer way that we use a lot in the real world. But right now I'm not discussing these two ways. Okay, typically by default we have CLI or the web UI. So technically, if you are a user, you want to do something in the operating system, that you have to decide. You want to go to GUI, then press Alt Control F1 F2, that will take you to GUI. And you want to work on the CLI, just go to Alt Control F4 F5 multi-user kind of I'm talking about. Okay, but if you want to use CLI, behind the CLI there's one program running, is called cell, and cell is the one who will interact with the operating system. So user is not directly interacting with the operating system. User go to the cell, and cell is the one who will connect to the operating system. Same way, if you want to interact with the GUI, the user not directly interacting directly to OS. Between the GUI and CLI, we have one GUI program running. It's called Genome, or sometimes it is known as GNOME. So like GNOME, we have a lot of graphical program available in the market. They are the one who will send the signal to OS, whatever you want to do. Like we have GNOME, we have KDE, lots of other graphical program available. But right now, I believe they are using GNOME or some kind of program here. Not GNOME, this kind of program they are using. Okay, so this is the one thing. So depend where which interface. There's a reason it's known as interface. Which interface you are using? Graphical. So this kind of program we you have command line. Then we normally use shell. Which shell you have? Okay, we have a lot of shell. Typically, we are using bash shell here. Bash shell we are using here. This is the one thing. But for this, you have to log in. After login, you get the cell. Okay. Now, next thing, guys, over here is I would like to discuss with you is okay. Cell is again like a programming language, or you can say the word scripting language. Okay, and cell also work as a live interpreter, like a Python I discussed yesterday. It means this cell I can run the command. Okay, but here I can also create the variable, like for example x5. That's all, as a live interpreter. So as soon as you run it, create a variable x with the value 5. But if you want to print the value, so you can use echo x. But when you type anything in the front of echo think it is a string, so you print as a string. But if you want to print as a variable, you can use dollar. So dollar say this is the variable, and they print the value of 5. It's like this, right? So so this is not Python. So whatever I'm using, the syntax I'm using, this is a syntax of your cell. And that is a reason cell is also a kind of programming language, typically known as cell scripting language. So again, in this program, we are not focusing more on the scripting language, but this kind of basic thing we're gonna use a lot. Okay, and if you remember, guys, in the last class, I talk of for loop, while loop. That was again the syntax of your cell scripting. That we will discuss again some of the basic thing in the future. Okay, but this is the variable I create, and it has value 5. But this variable, because I created that, this variable is known as user defined variable, or self, or your own variables. But some variable we already have in our system that is pre-created in a cell. For example, one of the variable that we have is called user variable, for example. So this is a predefined variable that I haven't created, we already have. So if you want to print the value, you can use echo $user. If we have this variable already created, I can see. So this is a variable that contain your username. Okay, so if you want to print your username, either you can use whoami command, or this variable is the same thing. Same way, we have one more variable. Again, even though we have lots of variable, we have one variable called cell. This contain your cell name, which is your current cell you are using. So likewise, we have lots of predefined variables in our system, or cell variables, or system variable you can say, or environment variable we can say, in our system. So some of the variable we're going to use in the future a lot. I'm just giving a very basics, uh, how to print the value of the variable in the cell, or how you can create this variable. But we will discuss this topic again in detail in some time. Okay, so this is one thing. And right now, guys, we are in the black screen, and this screen is known as virtual terminal, or the terminal. Okay, and this black screen show you two color, white and black, in the background. But we have a way to change the color of black terminal also. Okay, so we have a command called tput. So tput is I'm doing something in the terminal, I'm putting something in the terminal, so tput. And what I'm doing, I'm setting up set attribute for the foreground. And what I'm setting up, for example, I would like to change the color 3. So if you see, the color changed to orange. So typically we have a seven color from 0 it is black. If you see guys, nothing is visible, is black, right? You can type anything. So I'm trying to run again t put set af mm, 2, it changed, right? So if you want to do something that is you don't want anybody can see but it work, so just put the color 0, 0 and type the command. It will do something for you, and again come back to type again to get the color back, right? So typically we have 7 color from 0 to 7. 7 is by default white. Okay, you can set the foreground color by this command. So they have supported 8 color from 0 to 7. Okay, this is the foreground color. But if you want to set the background color, so we have a B for background color, I believe. And for example, if I set 3, so it will set the background color of this part, and whatever part you highlight, it automatically keep on changing. So for example, date they highlighted, cal they highlighted. So whatever part you want to change the color, you can use B options to change it. But if you want to change the color of whole screen, you keep either keep on trying the command, or you can use the clear command. It will do things for you. It first clean the screen, but it also do one more thing. So I believe guys I have a little bit in seconds of connection disconnected, but I've I believe now I'm connected. You won't miss anything. So I was talking about clear command. It clean the screen, plus whatever background color you set, it will set for everything, right? But if you want to reset your by default setting, you can use reset command. It will whatever setting you do, right? Reset command only reset those things that is related to cell. So in the cell, if you change the color, if you change the background color, if it reset whatever the by default value you had. Okay, so it will do those things. So guys, again, this is very basic things, but sometimes we require those things in some kind of program or some kind of features. So let me show you how we can use this kind of things, right? So let's start building some Python code, right? Basic, so very basic of Python I discussed yesterday. Even though I haven't started anything the variables and data type of Python, but whatever I'm going to do, we don't require those basics. Okay, so data types, everything we're gonna discuss in some minute. Okay, before this, I would like to give the answer of one question that I asked you yesterday: how to create a file without using any command. So if this is the question, guys, I asked you yesterday, and I feel very great. A lot of guys has given me the answer. So if you want to create file without creating if you want to create a file without without using any command, then we have a way. So we have a symbol that we can use. For example, right now, if I do ls, it show me all the file that I have. But if you want to create a file, either you can use touch, that you guys know. For example, k1.txt, this file they created. This is one of the way. If you want to create the file, we have other way also, cat command. Okay, for example, k2.txt, it create the file, plus it also open your command keyboard. You can type something, and press Ctrl D. It will save the data in the file also created, and you can see the data also stored. Okay, but only the biggest issue in the cat command, this one is very very sensitive command. If you run this symbol greater than in any file, if the file is not exist, they create for you, and if file already exists, they will remove your old data and overwrite the new data. So guys, very much sensitive. uh, Whenever you type something, before you type, just be sure this file, whatever you're doing, you meant for this, right? Otherwise it is harder to recover data. So when you use get greater than symbol, it will remove your old data and overwrite the new data. But if you don't want this, if you want your older data to be there and you want to add a new data, so in the cat we have a symbol called double greater than, there is no space, this is called append. So when I say example hi or bye and then control D, so whatever data you have, older data was there and new data has appended. So this is the way you can use. So cat we can use for multiple purpose: create the file, add the data, append the data, override the data, or read the file. Likewise, we have lots of command we're gonna discuss in the future, like vi will discuss. Okay, but if you use touch command or cat command, these are command, these are program, right? But my question was how to create a file without using any command. Okay, then we have a one special symbol here, it's called greater than. So we can use greater than symbol, guys. Greater than is not a command. Without it's just a symbol, right? Or it is not a program, you won't see any code of the greater than. So without using any command or a program, right, you can see there's no error come up and it create a new file for you. Obviously it is empty, but technically it creates. So it is something like a touch command, but it is not a command without using the credit. Okay, so most of guys have given the answer, but the great question, guys, that I'm going to ask you over here, that is very important, right? How is possible, right? Because I already explained you yesterday, without any process or program, you can't do anything, even though you can remove, place one bit here and there without any program. So how is possible? How is possible, right? That in using greater than symbol, you can create a file, because it is not, it is some one minute, if you have some kind of questions or Q&A, right? So from last 2 days I haven't opened the Q&A because of the time maybe. So what I'm doing right now, I'm just opening the Q&A, and if you have any questions you can ask me, right? So I'm just opening the Q&A. Okay, you can put on the chat box. So just a minute, I'm just save. So guys, my Q&A has been started. I again suggest, if it's not pop up in your screen, your mobile phone maybe, so try to refresh your page, and or go back or come in again from your URL, and you can see the chat box come up. And now if you have any questions or query till now, you can ask me one to one, right? You can post here if you want. So somebody say stream is stuck. Maybe guys, because you know what, uh, string I'm not sharing my screen actually, but now I've shared my string, my screen actually. So I just open for the Q&A. If you have, you can discuss with me. So I'm not sharing my screen right now. So, but you can listen my voice, I believe. Hello, yeah. So whatever question you have, you can post me here, and okay, and just try to refresh your page, go back, come in. Okay, so okay. Now I think our string is working fine, I believe. And no guys, we are not continuing this session for 2 days done. Again, next 2 days we have off, but if you want you can try it. And um, if you think my screen stuck in between, so I just check my video again. If some part missed due to my network connection, I will again record and put it in the channel. Don't worry, you won't miss anything. And but I believe my voice is audible. I believe guys my voice is audible. And okay. Okay, so don't worry, guys. From the Docker part was from after that. There's no important part. Before the Docker, whatever I explained you, that is why very important. If let me check my last this video. If something I thought is missed from my end, I will re-record and put in the channel for you. Don't worry, you don't miss anything. So I think that was the only challenge you face. So that's all, guys. From my side, we don't have so much questions here. Technically, if you have, you can put in your respective group. Some volunteer will definitely help you, and that's the main thing, guys. Otherwise, see you on Monday, and whatever you learn, just take a summary and put in your comment. So that is the way we do the attendance. Okay, that's all, guys. See you, and good day from my side, and take care. Enjoy your weekends, and see you on the Monday again, same timing, 9:15. Bye, take care.